Oh, sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
Let me know when you're ready.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This
will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. I'm on shrmedia.com.
Actually, I just totally screwed up. This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense show. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover's here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. till 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's right, and if you want to watch a broadcast, oh my God, it's so easy, even a goddamn liberal to do it. Just go to shrmedia.com. That's it. Just go there. You'll find it. You'll know where to go. I trust you. I believe you guys are smart enough. And there's 2 other ways you can watch, just in case you can't go that way. Hi, how you doing, Jenna? You can go to Facebook or YouTube and just search for SHR Media if you haven't done so already. And don't forget to click the like or subscribe button. How the hell is everybody doing? Kind of missed you. Last week was messed up with everything going on. The stress of everything that's been going on. But my daughter, we went to the appointment. They took the wrapping off it. They took a look, and me and my wife were just sitting there. And she turns around and says, "She don't need a skin graft. In fact, she is healed so good, you don't even need to come back." Now, if there's some complications, let us know. But otherwise, she's healing perfectly. She should be fine. The worst that's going to happen is one of 3 things. Well, I shouldn't say the worst. One of 3 things they said probably going to happen. The skin may grow back at a lighter discoloration than the other skin, or it might grow back a little bit darker, or it might grow back normal. So I am happy as a pig in shit. Oh, so many things have gone on since I was last on the air. And there was an article, a very interesting article I found, I think it was last week. And I wanted to do it. And some of this makes sense. It does make sense to me. And this is about the Mueller. Glad to hear you're doing good, Jenna. Sorry that there's a slight, well, you said a minor post-surgical issue. Hopefully you get over it. We're all praying for you. But the Mueller and President Trump, what's going on? And this writer, this investigative journalist, says that Mueller and President Trump are pulling the biggest sting in history. They're pulling the wool over everybody's eye, and nobody sees it. And the article starts out, on the crisp fall night of October 9th, 2016, there was electric energy in the air at Washington University in St. Louis for the second presidential debate. Hillary Clinton ended the first debate with a below-the-belt attack on Donald Trump, accusing him of bullying of a former Miss Universe beauty queen. There was a sense in the air that Trump, famous for his counterpunch, would swing back with a TKO. And boy, did he deliver. That night on the stage, Trump made a shocking promise to Clinton. In the event he got elected, quote, "If I win, I'm going to instruct my attorney general to get a special prosecutor to look into your situation. We're going to have a special prosecutor," Trump stated. Clinton responded, "It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country." Trump then interrupted and said, "Because you'd be in jail." Trump's statement was met with cheers and thunderous applause. Trump's famous "because you'd be in jail" line is consistently routed throughout the internet via memes, videos on social media to this day. However, what many seem to have forgotten is the first part of Trump's statement. He promised to assign a special prosecutor to look into Clinton's crimes. And we haven't seen that, but we have seen, and I'll discuss it later in another article, there's some Republicans in Congress that are mandating that Jeff Sessions assign a special prosecutor. But now let's fast forward to May 16th of 2017. President Trump is now in the White House, meets with Robert Mueller. CNN reported that Trump interviewed him as a potential replacement for fired FBI Director James Comey. Trump would say wrong. It's not possible that Mueller could have been interviewing for the FBI Director's position because he had already served in that capacity under President George W. Bush and briefly Barack Obama. And he exceeded the term limits allowed to work in that role. I got a tweet. How you doing, Big Sarge? Now, just remember that he interviewed, or he had a meeting with Robert Mueller in the White House. A lot of people forgot that. Now, a lot of people forgotten. So did I. I had forgotten that he had a talk with Robert Mueller. Now, the term limit is 10 years, and Mueller served as FBI Director for 12 years. Mueller got a special additional 2-year extension from Obama that the Senate approved. The fake news totally got this wrong, to no one's surprise. So what was the meeting really about? I believe Trump was finalizing his decision to appoint Mueller as his special prosecutor to investigate Clinton. Don't believe it? Keep reading. The day after Mueller's meeting with Trump, Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein appointed Mueller to serve as special counsel for the United States Department of Justice. In an appointment record signed by Rosenstein, it reads... Hang on, I gotta see if I can get it big enough. Oh, it's not gonna blow up. Damn it. I can't pull it up. But the special counsel is authorized to conduct an investigation, including any links and or coordination between Russia government and individuals associated with the campaign of President Trump, and any matters that arose or may arise directly from the investigation. And that's the key line. Trump did not collude with Russia. The left and the media have carried that narrative based off of lies and fake dossiers. Trump allowed them to carry that false narrative because he knew he was innocent and that the investigation would eventually turn to the real parties who colluded with Russia. Now enter the Clintons. What stands out in the affidavit Rosenstein signed included matters that arose or may arise directly from the investigation, because they knew an investigation into Russian collusion would eventually lead to Clinton. And what are we starting to hear now? We have one of the Podesta brothers resigning from the Podesta group because investigations are, word is, looking at Podesta in Russia. They work directly with Paul Manafort for the charges he's up on. And now I'm hearing that the Podesta group may be scuttled altogether. And what I mean by that, they might be shutting down the Podesta group altogether. You start investigating that, and it's going to lead back to one Hillary Rodham Clinton. Trump is a man of his word, and he's making good on all his campaign promises. So why wouldn't he keep this one? The left and the media has been so blinded by their partisanship that they fail to see that the greatest bait and switch in the history of the world is going down right before their eyes. They have naively assumed that since Mueller had been a part of the swamp, he'd protect the swamp. However, just because he's associated with corrupt politicians like the Clintons for years does not mean he likes them or has any interest in protecting them at this point. After all, the Clintons did go to Trump's wedding, and you know what they say, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. So the investigation is steering straight for the real guilty actors. And Tony Podesta is under the gun for the Podesta group involvement and selling the country's uranium to Russia. This will lead to the indictment of his brother, John Podesta, Clinton's former campaign manager, and yes, Hillary too. Now, if Mueller wasn't going after Tony, why did he step down as CEO of his company? Multiple sources have confirmed to me Podesta is one of the 17, and this is what caught my eye, 17 sealed indictment currently sitting in D.C. Not just Manafort and I can't remember the other guy's name. There's 17 others sitting there. I think this is more than... I don't think this is going after Trump. That's why this article caught my eye when I started reading more into it. It really caught my eye. It kind of makes sense because everybody's wondering about that. And I kind of said that from the beginning. This would lead to Russia, but it would lead to the Democrat Party. I said that multiple times when this first started. Now, I lost my faith. I will admit that. But something tells me this journalist has it in. Is honing in on the right direction. Now, other guilty swamp creatures are catching on to the true nature of Mueller's investigation. On October 30th, Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi called for an independent investigation into Trump's alleged campaign collusion with Russia, just moments after Manafort unsealed indictments for campaign operative Paul Manafort and Rick Gates. She also softened her tones from calling for Trump's impeachment to now stating, impeaching Trump is not someplace we should go. Last week, top Democrat Elizabeth Warren and Donna Brazile threw Clinton under the bus by admitting she rigged the primary against Bernie. Now, why would they do this now? They're distancing themselves from Clinton for a reason. On November 3rd, The Hill reported that Trump said that he would be proven innocent in the Russian election meddling investigation if Special Counsel Mueller treats everything fairly. I hope he's treating everything fairly, and if he is going to be very happy, because when you talk about innocent, I am truly not involved in any form of collusion with Russia. When Trump was asked if he would consider firing Mueller, he responded by stating he was confident that he'd be absolved of wrongdoing. If Mueller is so corrupt and intent on protecting the Clintons, like so many on the right and left believe, why isn't Trump sweating? He alluded that he's not even thinking about firing Mueller. Not only is Trump a man of his word, he's rarely ever wrong, and his instincts are killer. He also should be noted that Mueller is a decorated Marine who served in Vietnam and has received many medals, including the Purple Heart. Mueller was hired to investigate Clinton, period. And if this theory proves to be correct, this will go down as one of the most brilliant sting operations in history. I think this author, Liz Crokin, C-R-O-K-I-N, I think she's onto something with this. And I thought from the beginning that this investigation would turn towards the Democrats. There's more connections, and it seems that as they talk, and a lot of these idiots are all connected. Manafort, I didn't know Manafort and Podesta were all connected. Did anybody else? I mean, if you're not inside Washington's inner circle, you probably didn't know that they were connected business-wise. You know, it's... Trump is not sweating, and he, at least in public, he is very adamant. And there's something about Trump. Either he is the best actor out there. He's either the best actor ever, or, you know, he is just honest, which I think. The man has, and I agree, a very good instinct. I mean, he's done that throughout his business. I mean, yes, he's had some failings. Nobody does anything 100%. You make mistakes. You learn from it. I have told my daughter the best way to learn is when you make mistakes, and you learn from that. You fail, or you learn from failing. But if you fail to learn, you will keep failing. Now, it's... I think, and if it's true that we got 17 more sealed indictments, I want to see who they are as they start to unfold. And I have heard in other sources that there is more indictments. I haven't heard 17, but I heard there was more indictments and more arrests to come. Now, I don't know why they're doing it so slowly, but this is D.C. This is the way it works sometimes. So, it's food for thought, at least. Food for thought. All right, come on. Now, CNN, well, they're in hot water again. Let's see. Employees directed to destroy Donna Brazil's credibility. A very bad week for CNN just got a whole lot worse. Tucker Carlson of Fox News addressed the explosive allegation that CNN is doing what it has done so many times before to protect the Clintons and the Democrat Party: destroy a black person. Carlson says CNN management directed employees to destroy Donna Brazil's credibility. Quote, according to highly informed sources we spoke to, highly informed, top management at CNN directed its employees to undermine Brazil's credibility. Anchors and producers were vocally offended, many of them by Brazil's attack on their friends, the Clintons. If you've been watching that channel, you may have noticed CNN anchor's suggestion that Donna Brazil cannot be trusted, precisely because she took part in an effort to rig the primaries for Clinton. It's... checking something real quick. It's got to make you wonder. It's got to make you wonder. This is not the first time CNN has done this. They've been protecting Hillary Clinton and the likes for years. Where the heck did that go? Damn it. Some shame you can't find some. It's right there. I thought I had. I thought putty tat. I did. Oh God, I can't believe I can't find this. Came across one other. Sorry. We only got less than a minute before break. USA broke a story that AR-15s can be modified with a chainsaw bayonet. How fucking... Are these people really that dumb? Are they that desperate? Oh my God, it's... I don't know. They can't be that dumb. They really can't. Yeah, Menendez trial is not looking too good. That is... Where the fuck did this article go? It just disappeared. Oh, I know. Knew I forgot to put that article in there. Alright, we'll talk about it when we get back from break. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit, and we will be right back.
Consume
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. till 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires, due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network, to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cow for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to shrmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
Bumpity-dum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. Bumpity-dum, bum, bum.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. Oh, man. Gotta wake up. Gotta wake up. Gotta get that. Gotta get that. All right, Steve. What is it? Tom Steyer. Steve Steyer. Tom Steyers. Has anybody seen the commercial for Trump's impeachment? My parents saw it and were like, "What the?" I got a phone call. What the hell? I was like, "All right, Mom. Number one." I said, remember that guy Tom Steyers I told you about? You know, he opposes any of the pipelines because he has stock or ownership in the companies that transport the oil from Canada down to the Gulf. She's like, yeah, that's him. Now he does a commercial, and he's sitting in a chair, like in a living room, and on side it says American citizen. Here, let me see if I can do it for the video. And it kind of is misleads. And, you know, I'm sitting here with my parents. And having a brain fart. Total brain fart. All right, I got it. And if you're watching the video, you'll see it. I just totally screwed up. Oh. Don't you really screw up? Oh. But, hang on. I just totally screwed up like I did. There we go. Now, if you're watching the video, you'll see it pop up properly. Sorry about that. So, on the side, it says American citizen. What it doesn't say is how he is a lobbyist and spends millions upon millions upon millions of dollars for the DNC. That's what that video doesn't tell you, that he is a lobbyist. Yes, he's an American citizen, but he is a lobbyist. And that video tries to come across as he is a nobody who's spending his hard-earned money to try to impeach Trump because he's done all these bad things. I'd like to see him try to prove a single one of those accusations that he took money from a foreign government. Shit. We better go after Clinton then. Hillary Clinton took billions of dollars from foreign governments. It's so one-sided, and they try to distort the facts and the information. And he sits there. Well, also what he's done is he spent $10 million on the initial one. Well, guess what? He spent another $10 million. Because he's getting phone calls. He's getting people that's backing him. Damn it. People are backing him. He's getting positive feedback. Yeah, and it's not the majority. It's a super minority that are backing him. He's doing it to try to fire up the base. Problem is, it's going to backfire. It's going to backfire, and it is. You got DNC Chairman Perez. DNC Chairman Perez is sitting there. Where's that article? I totally jumped ahead of my schedule. I've never done that before. There it is. On Sunday on ABC's This Week, Democrat National Chairman Tom Perez brushed aside the $10 million ad campaign, now 20, from Democratic donor Tom Steyer, saying he's not talking about impeaching President Donald Trump. Perez says Steyer has the right to do whatever he wants to do. He invested a lot of money. I applaud his effort in investing in organizing and helping to elect Democrats. A number of people are myself included, are very, very concerned about the culture of corruption that has engulfed Washington, D.C. That's Tom Steyer. He's been corrupting them for years. He has bribed Democrat politicians for years that if you push his global warming policies, he'll finance your campaign for you. I think he's going out and buying candidates by doing that. Because he's not doing okay in his state or his district. He's doing it all over the country. He's fucked with Florida multiple times. He has been messing with Florida and his global warming bullshit and buying candidates. But he's out there. I'm just an American citizen worried. No, you are a Hillary Clinton apologist. You are a Hillary Clinton ass kisser. She lost, you're upset, and you're trying to throw more money, still trying to overturn the election. That's one of the major problems that the Democrats have. Instead of going on, they're still fighting the 2016 election. They're still fighting and arguing that election that they lost, and they're still in the past. Because they can't let go that they lost. Because their egos tell them that they should have won. Because they're believing their bullshit too much. They're believing it too much. And that's scary. Still haven't found that article. I mean, I have it in one spot, but I'm trying to find the actual web page. I think there was some video. I found the article. I shot the sheriff, but I didn't shoot the deputy. Alright, I found it. Yes, I did. I found it. There is a video, so we're going to play the video. Just give me a second. Don't rush me. Don't forget, next week I will not be here all week. I will be going to the Poconos, visiting my in-laws. Normally I don't go up, has nothing to do with in-laws, but because of the cold weather and all that, my medical issues, I normally don't go up. And this year, over the summer, we lost a very great woman. My wife's grandmother passed away, and it was asked for everybody to come up for that, so, you know, I can't say no to that. I can't. She was a great woman. Great woman. So, I'm going to go up. I'm going to honor. But it's laughing because I'm talking, man, damn. insect just came flying at me. There it does. And I'm going to go up and it's going to be fun. Because I'm kind of sitting there going, oh, shit. So I'm going to be the only conservative, the only Trump supporter. I mean, my wife and my daughter. But they don't get in the political talk. Everybody else is very much into politics, and I'll be by myself. And it's going to be going, oh, shit. And it's like, do I just walk away, let them run the, have their speech and just ignore it and walk away, or do I, speak up? And it's kind of a 50-50. Because this is the way I look at it. The only time I really usually say something is at my house, because that is my house. And when I'm there, it's their house. I try to respect it, that it's their house, and they have a right to their opinion, especially. And they always do, but they have a right in their house. So when they're in my house, that's when I usually speak up. Because to me, that's my house. And a lot of times, I don't want to talk politics with them because it gets too damn bad. It gets a little... vicious. So, I don't know. It'll be what it'd be. So here is about the CNN trying to destroy Donna Brazile. This is from Tucker Carlson. I don't know how long it is, but we're going to play it and see what he's got to say. Where is it? Nope, that's not it. Wrong button.
People say the media are liberal, and obviously they are, but that's not the whole story. More than anything, the national media are part of the establishment. They went to the same schools as the establishment. They share the same values. They're basically the same people. If you want evidence of this, look no further than the controversy over Donna Brazile's new book. Brazile once ran the DNC. So when she says the Democratic Party worked hard to steal the election from Bernie Sanders, you can't exactly dismiss her as a partisan or a kook. And yet that's exactly what many in the establishment press have tried to do for several days. According to highly informed sources we spoke to, highly informed, top management at CNN directed its employees to undermine Brazile's credibility. Anchors and producers there were vocally offended, many of them, by Brazile's attacks on their friends, the Clintons. If you've been watching that channel, you may have noticed CNN's anchors suggesting that Donna Brazile cannot be trusted precisely because she took part in efforts to rig the primaries for Clinton. Watch.
She's the one who, through somebody who doesn't work at CNN, got access to one town hall question and sent an email, which we know from WikiLeaks, to someone in the Clinton campaign to give them a town hall question, which is completely unethical. She wasn't doing that for Bernie Sanders.
Do you take her at her word, Sam, given the fact that she lied about that CNN debate and giving those questions to Hillary Clinton ahead of time?
It's unbelievable. In retrospect, they're so obviously talking points. Oh, glad to know that. But CNN's not alone, by the way. Glenn Greenwald at The Intercept wrote a great piece the other day in which he pointed out that journalists have repeatedly spread misleading stories designed to exonerate the behavior of Hillary Clinton and the DNC. NBC News published a story claiming the Clinton-DNC agreement only applied to the general election. If they'd simply read the agreement, they would have seen that's false. It applied to both. That claim was quickly, though, repeated by MSNBC, The Hill, and others. Again, it was false. Establishment journalists also claimed that Sanders signed the very same agreement that Hillary Clinton did. That's false, too. The media loves a scandal, but in this case, they can't seem to downplay this one fast enough. Donna Brazile isn't backing down, though. Watch this.
For those who are telling me to shut up, they told Hillary that a couple of months ago. You know what I tell them? Go to hell. I'm going to tell my story.
Donna Brazile is going to join us on this show on Wednesday with her side of all of this. Meanwhile, Richard Goodstein advised Hillary Clinton on both her presidential campaigns, and he is brave enough to join us in studio.
Darn right.
So in her book, and again, we're having her Wednesday, I can't wait to hear about this, but she says that she experienced sexism on the Hillary campaign. She wasn't taken seriously because
So that's basically what she has to say, or I should say he, sorry. Hey, come on. Switch over, damn it. And it's the Clinton News Network. What do you expect? I mean, it's amazing how much they run out of their way to protect that woman. She lost the presidency in a slam dunk presidency. And she, still being protected. You would think by now they would be tired of her and throw her under the bus just to get rid of her. But, I don't know. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back. Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello. I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires, due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network, to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid program.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute
website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires, due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network, to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid program.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. Now, I know that went a little bit extra longer than normal because... So I go out during the break, talk to my wife for a split second to tell her something. I totally forgot what I had to tell her. And she asked me to go into the kitchen real quick. She has this jar of gelato. It's like frozen ice cream thing. And it has a screw top. I couldn't get the son of a bitch off. So I notice, in my head, I look, I say, ooh, that's the size of an oil filter. I got 2 oil filter wrenches. So I ran in here, restarted the commercial, ran out to the garage. Now I have the old style, that ring type, that compression ring, and another one that's basically just like a big, gigantic set of vice grips. So that's how I had it open, and it was still a bitch. It was still a bitch to open, even with the leverage of tools. Oh, the hell did they put that on with? Pneumatic wrenches? Damn. So, let's see. Where are we? So we talked about Brazil credibility, their attacking, and they don't care who they attack as long as it's to protect the DNC and Hillary Clinton. Anything to protect those two. What's funny is this Stiers, Tom Stiers. I mean, he's taking a big gamble with this impeachment talk, setting people up, and then when it falls flat, what are they going to do? And DNC Chair Perez wants nothing to do with it. Nancy Pelosi wants nothing to do with this impeachment talk. She wants all of her people under her to stop talking. You know, she can't really gag them, but she's telling them to basically to shut up about it. But that's the way it goes. It's not good. It gives talking points for the Republicans. It gives them commercials to run during re-election. I don't understand it. But hey, they want to do it, go right ahead. That's their business. Now just remember, you know, and I don't want to say what comes around goes around, because the Republicans have a little bit smarter about that. Even under Obama, they were smart. They kind of kept their mouth shut about it. Let's see. The U.S. Appeals Court in California. Let me say that again. The U.S. Appeals Court in California on Monday let President Donald Trump's latest travel ban go partially into effect, ruling the government can bar entry of people from 6 Muslim-majority countries with no connections to the United States. A 3-judge panel of the San Francisco-based 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals partially granted a Trump administration request to block, at least temporarily, a judge's ruling that had put the new ban on hold. Trump's ban was announced on September 24th and replaced 2 previous versions that had been impeded by federal courts. The action means the ban will apply to people from Iran, Libya, Syria, Yemen, Somalia, and Chad who do not have connections to the United States. Those connections are defined as family relationship and formal and documented relationships with U.S.-based entities such as universities and resettlement agencies. Those with family relationships that would allow entry include grandparent, grandchild, brothers-in-law, sister-in-laws, aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, and cousins of people in the United States. The ruling does not affect people from 2 other countries listed on Trump's, North Korea and Venezuela. We are reviewing the court's order, and the government will begin enforcing the travel proclamation consistent with the partial stay. We believe that the proclamation should be allowed to take effect in its entirety, Justice Department spokesman stated. The state of Hawaii, which sued to block the restriction, argued that federal immigration laws did not give Trump the authority to impose them on 6 of those countries. U.S. District Judge Derek Watson in Honolulu ruled last month that Hawaii will likely to succeed with that argument. He has every fucking right. That's what I'm saying. He has every fucking right. It says so in several documents. These fucking idiot judges that ignore law. Hawaii Attorney General Douglas Chin said the court's decision tracked what the Supreme Court said in June when it partially revived Trump's second travel ban, which now expired. I'm pleased that family ties to the United States, including grandparents, will be respected. Trump issued his first travel ban targeting several Muslim-majority countries in January, just a week after he took office, and then issued a revised one after the first one was blocked by the courts. The second one expired in September after a long court fight and was replaced with another revised version. Trump has said the travel ban is needed to protect the United States from terrorism by Muslim militants. As a candidate, Trump had promised a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States, which is bullshit. He never said that. I hate that he never said that outright. Oh. Critics of the travel ban and its various iterations call it a Muslim ban that violates the U.S. Constitution by discriminating on the base of religion. The Ninth Circuit is due to hear oral arguments in the case on December 6th in a parallel case from Maryland. A judge also ruled against Trump's administration and partially blocked the ban from going into effect. An appeal in the Maryland case is being heard on December 8th by the 4th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Richmond, Virginia. The Maryland case was brought by the American Civil Liberties Union, which represents several advocacy groups, including the International Refugee Assistance Program. Now, what I would love to see these go to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court able to rule, because I am very, very sure, very confident that they would be ruling in favor of the president and his right to restrict who comes into this country. And then it would stop this nonsense once and for all. This is more than a Muslim ban, and they know it. They're trying to use that to pull at the heartstring of weak-minded people. I don't know. Now, everybody's heard what's going on with Judge Moore. He's been accused of sexual harassment and all that from like 30, 40 years ago. He has been in public office for decades. No one's ever uttered an ounce of accusations. Now all of a sudden he pisses off Mitch McConnell and the establishment. The Democrats know they're going to lose another race, and at the last minute he gets accused out of nowhere from 30, 40 years ago. 40 years ago. As Steve Bannon put it, that this was a Republican establishment and media launched a weaponized hit on Judge Moore. Now, just as the accusations against George Takei, whatever, he's getting accused. Until there's some kind of proof, I won't have the man as being guilty yet. I find it funny that he's getting accused after his uppity up, and he's always jumped on the bandwagon to make people sound guilty right off the bat as soon as an accusation is made. Now that he's being accused, it's, he wants the benefit of the doubt. Now, I do believe in innocent before being guilty. Now, what makes me make comments about Big Bill Clinton is, well, evidence. His willingness to lie about Monica Lewinsky. And that was proven true. I don't believe this right now on Judge Moore because of the fact that 40 years later you're going to make the accusation. Yes, I know with Harvey Weinstein, some of them are 20, 30 years old, but he admitted to it. He admitted he did do some of those. So yes, I do believe the accusations. Do I think some people are jumping on the bandwagon? Yeah, I do. And what I mean is I think some of those women may be making false allegations at this time. I think these against Judge Moore are a political hit from Washington Post. I don't think they're true. I think Washington... And it's the same thing that happened. Washington Post did the same thing against Trump. Very close to election time, they drop accusations of sexual harassment. And again, from 30, 40 years before. Now, these men have been in the spotlight for decades and never heard a peep. And now, all of a sudden, they make accusations. I don't buy it. Don't buy it. There's been a lot of time to make those accusations. But with that, we're going to go to break. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Planet Radio. We will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires, due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network, to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid program.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to shrmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. Yes, I am. I tried to, at least. I'm in a very goofy mood. I don't know why. Let's see. So a poll was done, and people are more likely to support Roy Moore over the Washington Post allegations and a pushback against the media. People are more willing, because of those accusations by Washington Post, they're more willing to support Roy Moore. What they may have done is helped him with the election. And what's funny is, McConnell has a hand in this because he's screaming that Roy Moore should resign right now, walk away right now. Remember, Roy Moore beat Strange Luther, McConnell's hand-picked puppet. McConnell spent $30 million, wasted $30 million, so now he is trying to fuck over the judge. And it's not working. And it's pissing him off. So you got Democrats, we're going to kick him even if he wins the election. We're going to kick him right out. Oh, damn it. Fucking crybabies they are. Democrats are... they are out to destroy this country. You know, it's not just they lost an election, big deal. They're out to destroy the country. Hell or high water. They don't give a flying fuck what me or you thinks anymore. They're going to tell us what to think, what to do, how to act. And you can see it with their actions. They lose elections instead of sitting back saying, holy shit, we're not doing what America wants. We need to reinvent ourselves. We need to do what America wants. No, they think, how can we force them to accept our way of thinking? How can we force them to come to our way of doing things? That's not their job. Their job is to do what Americans want. Their job is to represent us. They're there for America. But it seems more and more they're there for themselves. And as we try to clean the swamp up, the swamp's fighting back. McConnell's not going to go down lightly. What we need to do... God. Well, we got a couple more years before he's back up again, unfortunately. We need to somehow get hell or high water, and it's going to be hard. It is. Because we need to get term limits. We need to get these assholes to agree to term limits. And you know what? These assholes put in that the president had to have a term limit because too much power, too many terms of one president is bad. But yet these assholes can stay in for a lifetime. And that's something we gotta somehow straighten out. I know, easier said than done.
But this article goes on that the survey found that 29% of its respondents were more likely to vote for Moore in response to the Post reporting. Some had interpreted that response as an endorsement of Alabamian of Moore's alleged behavior. No, you're not. Someone tweeted that next time you take the kiddos to Alabama, steer clear. 29% of the state voters. No, they do not approve of sexual harassment, you jackass. And I love how that's how they have to make it look like. They have to give this negative connotation to it. No, give it for what it is. They know this is nothing more than a lie, an attempt to destroy someone's career, someone's life, because a group can't stand losing. That's exactly what it is. They can't stand. They can't handle it. And it's it annoys the piss out of me is what it does. And the more they fight like this, the more the Democrats fight like this, I think the more it's pissing Americans off. They know the tactics that the Democrats have been using. They know it. I mean, look at what happened to Hannity this past weekend. He gave Judge Moore airtime to speak his side. And the left tried labeling him as approving of pedophilia and all this other crap, and went after a couple of sponsors. One of the sponsors, having someone that didn't understand what was going on, said they were going to pull the advertisement. Well, the CEO of Keurig issued an apology today, said there was a mistake about all that they are not getting involved in the politics. And what it is you have a paid agitators that are out to silence conservative speech. They can't beat what we have to say, so the only thing they could do is silence us. They can't beat with facts, so they want to silence. And the majority of the people are seeing what's going on, and they're fighting back, and they're fighting mad. That 29% is a response about pushing back against the hostile press. That's what that 29%. That 29% is fighting back against these bullshit false allegations that happen too often in politics anymore. What are the Democrats? Racism, xenophobe, sexual allegation. You know, the Democrat Party should be the last fucking party that should be talking about anything. Because they've upheld, and they still uphold Bill Clinton, and it goes further than that. Ted Kennedy. Ted Kennedy was involved in the murder of a girl, and the Democrats held him up to such a high standard. But yet the Democrats want to act like they have this moral high ground. Myers, that jackass. Oh, we have our pedophiles arrested. Republicans have them elected into office. Bullshit! You hold them up on such a high pedestal that you praise and pray to them. I mean, that's just two examples. Ted Kennedy and Bill Clinton have put on such a high pedestal And both of them were sexual predators. I don't know. It's... bad. And another one is this Jerry Brown asshole. California Governor Jerry Brown fired back at a left-wing heckler who disrupted his speech on climate change at a gathering in Germany, jokingly, "Let's put you in the ground." The full video of the confrontation published online by the Sacramento Bee shows Brown being interrupted as he was addressing a conference of America's Pledge, an initiative led by Brown and by former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg. What's funny is they're at a event that has leaders there, country leaders. We are not involved in it. The United States is not involved in it, but Jerry Brown took it upon himself to go there and represent and act like he is actually somebody of importance to this country. America's Pledge describes itself as follows. American Pledge brings together private and public sector leaders to ensure the United States remains a global leader in reducing emissions and delivers the country's ambitious climate goals of the Paris Agreement. Several hecklers began shouting during Brown's address. He tried to shrug off the interjections, and we even have characters like this here to make it the dialectic of, yeah, I wish we could have not pollution, but we have to have our automobiles. As the hecklers continue, Brown responded, "I agree with you, in the ground. Let's put you in the ground so we can get on with the show here." This is very California. Brown joked as the protesters calmed down. Actually, that's very mild. Then another group of hecklers on the other side of the room stood up to read demands wearing Native American garb. "I wish I could speak in the rhyme, but I don't," he joked. He added, if I could turn off the oil today, 32 million vehicles would stop and 10 million jobs would be destroyed overnight." And he sits there and says that if he could, he would destroy, he would do that in a heartbeat. How many lives would be dead because of that? And think about it, you had no vehicles to transport, no planes to transport, no boats to transport. Think of the meds that would get shut off. Millions would die, and he would do it. They don't care. This is not about humans. These people seem to hate, well, they want everybody else to be held to a high standard. You know, even if he pulled the cars, he would still have access. Him and his cronies would still have access to automobiles and planes. Despite his obsession with climate change, Brown has frequently faced environmental protests at home over his refusal to stop hydraulic fracking in California. And here's what pisses me off. They talk about all this global warming. And rather than address the Americans' Pledge by video, Brown traveled to the conference as part of a long European tour, burning tons of carbon along the way. Think about that. How much carbon was dumped into the atmosphere for all these leaders and all these global warming environmentalists to go? Think about that. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires, due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network, to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying Cap for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to shrmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Georgie Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. And what I mean is, when I was talking about Jerry Brown, is act like he is representing the U.S. at a climate conference. He's talking like he is representing America at a glitzy United Nations Environmental Conference in Germany. The U.S. government is not at the Conference of Partners, the COP23 summit, because President Trump has removed America from the Paris Climate Accord, the subject matter being discussed at COP23. But that hasn't stopped Brown from suggesting he represents the real America. Instead of doing nothing, we're doing something. Pending a new president or pending a conversion experience on the part of Donald Trump, he told Germany Deutsches Well, deriding Trump's environmental policy as like a Saturday Night Live or a comedy program. Brown suggested that the president's decision to withdraw from the Paris Climate Accord was red meat for the Trump base. They chew on it and feel good, but they represent no more than 35 to 40%. Which is bullshit. There's a larger percent, and the polls have showed it time and time again. Time and time again, they have showed that majority of people don't believe in the global warming. They don't. It's based off of emotions. It's based off of greed. And that's the major contributor behind global warming. Greed. Money. Has nothing to do with fact and science. They keep using those words because it sounds good, but it has nothing to do with any of that. It just... And what he's doing there, I have no understanding. He can't represent the United States. You know, although Brown has been designated by the UN as an environmental special envoy, which basically means jack shit, because he has been delegated no special powers to negotiate on behalf of the United States government. First of all, if to say to the rest of the world that America we're in the Paris Accord, we have to keep the temperatures below a 2 degrees centigrade increase. And we're going to do that not with the federal government, because the federal government is on holiday with respect to climate change, Brown said. Bullshit. And we're not going to get there because guess what? Solar flares are reducing. A lot of actual scientists believe we're going into a cold, I don't want to say ice age, but we're going to go into a cooling phase where it'll get a little bit cooler. And we've gone through these before, and I've discussed at length. And these idiots don't want to listen. They don't want to look at the facts, because there's no big payday without climate change. Brown also derides any suggestion that the Paris Accord will adversely affect the American job market. That is one of the silly stories that we call a Trumpism. Brown claims that California has found the green energy job solutions even while it promises to phase down oil production in the state. Well, explain to me this. How come we've been losing jobs at a steady pace, and now we're getting them back now that these policies are ending? Paris Accord would have sent jobs out of this country. They even admitted that would be an effect. And globalists like Brown don't give a fucking rat's ass about you or me. The truth of the matter is that California, with its strong renewable energy, its very far-reaching greenhouse gas reduction set of policies, our economy grows faster than the national average. So I think that is a very good proof that green energy, wind, solar, new electric grids, battery solution, electric cars, hydrogen cars, all these create new jobs, the job of the future. That's why none of these cars are viable. They all keep failing. The only reason Tesla has stayed in business is because the federal government has funded it through Obama. Now that Obama's not there to fund that private industry, it's going to crash right on its face. Solar energy is failing. Why? Because it doesn't have all the federal money being pumped into it to keep it feasible. Listen, I would like to see some of these. I think that wind is a way to go on certain areas. But it runs with an issue of wildlife getting injured. Same with solar. Some of the solar is killing wildlife. You know, nothing is going to be 100%. And then you piss off other groups. Oh. It's ridiculous. And this man thinks, I don't know. I don't know what the hell he's thinking, but he doesn't represent the United States. He doesn't represent the majority of us. And the majority of us think this global warming is, well, a farce. It's a money scam. So sick of this global warming bullshit. They're a fucking joke. And people that parrot it, it's a cult. Nothing more. It's a cult. You know, Roger Goodell. Roger Goodell is in negotiations for a new contract. And I think he just might have priced himself out of it. He just asked for a contract. He gets paid $30 million a year. $30 million a year to destroy the NFL. And now he's asking for a $20 million raise. Almost 50% increase. He wants $50 million a year. Most of these owners don't even make $50 million a year, and he is asking. And on top of it, he wants the NFL to supply him with a plane for the rest of his life. His own plane that will be paid for by the NFL for the rest of his life. There's some that are some of the owners questioning whether they want him back. And then he goes and asks for $50 million. Oh my God. Hang on one second. My wife just sent me a weird message. That's weird. So we're going to take our last break a couple minutes early so I can figure out what's going on. Then we'll come out and finish the show. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. till 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires, due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network, to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cough, you stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to shrmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m., Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. So I go out there, and there's a new modem from Comcast. I'm like, what the fuck? Don't even know when the asshole came up and dropped it off. Could have rang my doorbell. Something. But yeah, no. It was out there. So I'm always like, did you order a new modem? No, I didn't. It's funny, it's the same modem we have now, but I'll install it, send this one back. What the heck? Can't hurt. So, we're into the last segment. Again, don't forget, next week I won't be here all week. I'll be out of here. We might be having a replacement. I don't know. It just might be a lot of best ofs for next week. The holidays are coming up, and hopefully everybody understands. With the holidays comes rough schedules. And this is what November, December to me is the holiday season because you got a lot of stuff. You got birthdays, you got Thanksgiving, you got Christmas, you got all that. So, I'll be here mostly. And I know Christmas time I might have my in-laws here, so if they're here, I don't know if I'll be on air or not. And, yeah, it'll be kind of interesting. This next week will be very interesting also. So Representatives Jordan and Gatz. Matt Gatz is a representative from Florida. They are saying it is time now. They're telling the Attorney General it is time now that we have a special counselor for the questions mounting on Clinton, Comey, Russian dossier, and more. A whole host of things. They want to know, why did FBI Director James Comey call the Clinton investigation a matter and not an investigation? After all, Mr. Comey wasn't the director of Federal Bureau of Matters. It took me a minute when I first read that. I was like, what? Oh, I get it. Why in 2016 did FBI Director Comey begin drafting an exoneration letter for Secretary Clinton, whom he called grossly negligent in an earlier draft of the letter, before completing the investigation, before interviewing several witnesses, before interviewing Secretary Clinton, before doing this interviewing, he wrote a letter claiming she was innocent. Why in 2016 did James Comey and the Justice Department give Cheryl Mills, Secretary Clinton's chief of staff, an immunity agreement for turning over her laptop computer? Typically, the department would issue a subpoena or get a warrant and seize it. Why in this case did the FBI agree to destroy the laptop? Why in 2016, the day before the Benghazi report was released and 5 days before Secretary Clinton was interviewed by the FBI, did Attorney General Lynch meet with former President Bill Clinton on a tarmac in Phoenix? Why did the intelligence community in the final months of Obama's administration unmask names at a record rate? Why in the days following the meetings and when emailing with the public relations staff at the Justice Department, the Loretta Lynch used the pseudonym Elizabeth Carlisle? If your conversation with former president was only about golf and grandchildren, then why not use your real name?
Why was the decision on whether to charge Secretary Clinton made by FBI Director Comey and not Attorney General? Why did James Comey publicize the Clinton investigation? Why in 2016 did the FBI pay for the Russian dossier? It's been reported that in addition to the Clinton campaign and the Democrat National Committee paying Fusion GPS for the dossier, the FBI also reimbursed Christopher Steele, author of the dossier. Why was Fusion GPS co-founder Glenn Simpson meeting with Russian lawyer both before and after her meeting with Donald Trump Jr.? Why is the FBI so reluctant to tell Congress and the American people that the dossier was the basis for a FISA court order permitting the government to spy on Americans associated with President Trump's campaign? If the dossier was a legitimate intelligence document relied on by the court, then why not just tell the country? Why on January 6, 2017, did James Comey brief President-elect Trump on the dossier? Again, if the dossier was a legit intelligent document, then why wait 2 months after the election to inform the president-elect? Why did the Obama administration leak to CNN that Mr. Comey had briefed President-elect on the dossier? Several media outlets had the dossier prior to the briefing, yet no one would print it because most of the documents could not be substantiated. In his congressional testimony, Mr. Comey himself called the dossier salacious and unverified. As pointed out in the Federalist, did the fact that the FBI director that had briefed the president-elect on the dossier give it the legitimacy the press needed to go ahead and print something they knew was not accurate? Why did the intelligence community in the final months of the Obama administration unmask names at a record rate? Why, after Mr. Comey was fired on May 9th, 2017, was it so critical for a special counsel be named to examine possible Trump-Russia collusion, so critical that James Comey leaked a government document about his conversation with President Trump through a friend to the New York Times? Why is the special counsel, Robert Mueller, according to The Hill and the Circa News in 2009 and 2010, the FBI, through an informant, learned Russia companies seeking to do business in the United States were involved in kickbacks and bribes? Yet FBI Director Robert Mueller did not inform Congress and did not inform the Committee of Foreign Investment in the United States, the entity responsible for the decision on whether to approve the Uranium One deal. Why did Robert Mueller not inform CFI-US? And why did the Justice Department put a gag order on the informant? On July 27, 2017, 20 House Republican members of the Judiciary Committee sent a letter to the Attorney General calling for a special counsel to get answers to the above questions. On September 28, 2017, 5 House Republicans of the Judicial Committee met with Attorney General and Justice Department staff to inquire about the July letter. The Justice response? Silence. It's time for Jeff Sessions to name a special counsel to get the answers for the American people. And if he can't or won't, he should step down. Plain and simple. There's so many questions that need to be answered, and I'm getting tired of a lot of them. MSNBC, Chris Hayes. Democrats need a real reckoning with Bill Clinton allegations. MSNBC host Chris Hayes tweeted Friday that Democrats need to have a real reckoning with sexual misconduct allegations against Bill Clinton. Hayes said he also shared a 2016 BuzzFeed article about Broderick's rape allegations against Bill Clinton. Broderick claims that then Arkansas Attorney General Bill Clinton raped her in the late 70s. Broderick and several other Clinton accusers appeared with then-candidate Donald Trump before the second debate with Hillary Clinton in 2016. She said at the times, actions speak louder than words. Mr. Trump may have said some bad words, but Bill Clinton raped me and Hillary Clinton threatened me. I don't think there's any comparison. Bill Myers, this jackass. On Friday's broadcast of HBO's Real Time, host Bill Myers argued that it isn't important now whether the 2016 Democrat presidential primary was rigged because the primary is over. So if that's his way of thinking, then Mueller can go home. It doesn't matter if Trump colluded with Russia. The 2016 presidential elections are over. Notice the double standard? He doesn't want Clinton or the DNC investigated, but he wants the joke of investigation against Trump. While speaking with former DNC chair Donna Brazil, Myers stated Democrats spent 2017 stuck in 2016. Can we put the Bernie Hillary thing aside? That great divide? I mean, that's what all the controversy was with your book. That the the primaries were rigged. And you know it doesn't matter, first of all, now. It's over. And also the policy difference between the Bernie folks and the Hillary folks were really small to begin with. So that's his excuse. But yet we should just, hey, ignore what was going on. I don't think so. I don't think so, Bill. I think something's going to your brain. I don't think it's good. So I came across this article. A writer for the New European newspaper has discussed after speculating on how many elderly Brit ex-voters will die in the winter and predicting that their grandchildren will spit on their graves. Mark Hind, H-I-N-D, a public relations consultant who says he can help my clients get talked about for all the right reasons, on his firm's Facebook page, wrote, wondering how many Brit ex-voters are no longer with us, and what a bad winter might mean for the Wall of Gammon. The Wall of Gammon is Handon's collective term for the gammon-faced white men he believes for the Leave vote in June of 2016. A curious choice of insults, as he appears to be a white, graying, and fairly well-fed himself. Later, Hind posted an even more inflammatory message. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Wall of Gammon count down towards the day their grandchildren will spit on their graves for disrespecting the people who fought and died to create the freedom they voted away. It's funny. He's talking about fought and died for freedom. But yet, that EU is not freedom. Freedom is voting like Brit X voted. It's funny how that comes about when he doesn't even know what the fuck he's talking about. I don't know. This guy is... They can't give up the fact that people are tired of this globalistic takeover. And people just aren't going to lay down like they think. But with that, let's coming towards the end of the show. I'll be back tomorrow, same time, same station. Be 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, right here on SHR Media and HP Pundit. And with that, I'll see everybody tomorrow night. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.